Welcome back to another Spirit Island video. In this video, we are going to be doing another basic strategy guide, this time looking at one of the new spirits, Downpour. So let's pull up that spirit board here. So Downpour, the setup is going to be in the lowest number wetland. It is a high complex spirit. It is going to have a low amount of offense, a high amount of control, very low fear, a lot of defense, and a decent amount of utility. So flipping over the spirit board, and we have two special rules. The first one is Drench the landscape. Spirit actions and spirit rules treat your sacred sites as wetlands. So this is very cool. You're able to create sacred sites on the board, and then when you do that, you turn that land into a wetland. And then this is where all of your power is tied to. It is your second special rule, which reads pour down power across the island. It says for each 2 water you have during the fast or slow phase, gain an energy or repeat one of your land targeting power cards by paying its cost again. So Downpour is all about generating a lot of water and then repeating your cards, and your uniques are going to be incredibly powerful effects because you are repeating them multiple times. Your growth options, you are a 0-2-1. Your first option is a reclaim, power card gain, and then move presence. Your second option places 2 presence, gains 2 water, and then you lose 2 cards from your hand. And then your final option gives you a power card, a presence, and an energy. So your G2 is like your power-up ability, where this is where you're going to be doing a lot of damage, and then you're taking off turns with your G3 or G1 to gain power cards. I personally do not like playing Downpour because I find the games get really samey. Now I say that as a Stone player, but with Stone you're always drafting these minors and majors, and the games tend to play out uniquely. With Downpour, the games are almost always identical. It always follows the exact same pattern, and that is because of the G2, G3 dichotomy. Looking at your tracks, you have a bunch of elements on top track, and then you have some plays on bottom track. A lot of times how the spirit plays out is you first go towards the 2 plays here, then you go to this top plants, and then you go down to 3 plays. Almost always that's how your games will look like. So you'd G2, G3, then you'd go G1, then G2, G1, and then G2, and then by then the game is usually over. So in rare games, you'll actually go up here and go across that top track. Now, both of your innates are also very strong. So your left innate, it says rain and mud suppress conflict. You target yourself. Each one of your presence is going to defend 1 and then lower Dahan counterattack damage by 1. Second tier does it again. Third tier, it lowers the health of invaders and you generate some fear. Also lowers the health of Dahan. So this left innate is like a global defend, and it is incredibly powerful. Not necessarily for your lands in particular, but if you turn on this innate, placing 1 or 2 presence may be enough to completely defend another land for another player. It's just this innate has such a high threshold when comboed with other spirits. Just very strong. This final tier pretty much never matters. When I say never matters, it's just games are just won by the time it comes into play. So okay, right innate. This innate is also busted. So it's you gain energy. So it says water nourishes life's growth. Gain energy. You may remove a blight by losing a presence. Gain another energy. Gather a Dahan, and then this final threshold is like infinite vitality. Whenever blight would be added to the land, instead leave it on the card. I've seen this final threshold come up sometimes. Essentially, it's fast blight healing at the cost of a presence. Now, when you remove the presence, it's as if the presence is destroyed, so you could still bring it back, and that's something that a lot of players miss. Okay, your 4 power cards here. So your first card, Dark Skies, loose a stinging rain, 1 energy fast, moon, air, water, 1 range from a wetland, and it says isolate target land, push and explore, and up to 2 Dahan. So this is like your fast disruption. Very potent because it has an isolate with an explorer push, so it gets around like Habsburg builds, or Habsburg build gathers is what I mean. Gets around like England builds, just very strong. We have Foundation Sink into Mud, 1 energy slow power, water earth, 0 range, 2 damage to a town. If target land is a wetland, you may instead deal 1 damage to each building. So this is kind of how the spirit plays. You're going to kind of control you can't move buildings, but you essentially want all of your buildings to be in 1 land, and then you're going to foundations with this card 3 times to kind of clear the entire land out. And then you're going to be using your Dahan defense with your left innate as well as Unbearable Deluge to kind of get these Dahan counterattacks to kind of clear out the board, and then use your Dark Skies to kind of isolate, create a pocket, and that's how you win. So looking at the other two cards, you have Unbearable Deluge, 0 cost, air, water, earth, 0 range, fast power, 1 fear, push 2 Dahan, defend 3. If it's a wetland, isolate it. So this is your Dahan movement card. It also is your defend 3. What's really cool about these three cards is they all do things when there's wetlands. So you're isolating lands if it's a wetland. You're allowing to do more damage when it's a wetland with foundations, or Dark Skies, it's required for that targeting. And I love that across the Spirit. And then lastly, Downpour's probably the strongest card in the kit. It's strongest support tool, and that is Gift of Abundance. What does Downpour do for the team? And this card is amazing. So it's a 1 energy fast power, sun, air, water, plant, so quad element. Target spirit gains 2 energy or may repeat a power card this turn by paying its cost. Absurd. You get to allow another spirit to repeat a card. It is so good. Now, in solo, this card you can use on yourself, so it's an extra repeat for you, but just so powerful. In addition, it says either you or target spirit may add 1 destroyed presence to a wetland where you have presence. So essentially, you're going to use this card to bring back the presence from your right innate. And honestly, it's too good of a combo because every time you play Gift of Abundance, it has the plant, which means it activates a sedate, which means you're not only fast healing a blight, you're also getting the presence back. So you lose a presence, but you get it back. So they just work off each other. And that's why the spirit goes G2, G3 to 2 plays, G1, and then you G2 to this top plant, because once you have the top plant, and then whenever you play Gift of Abundance, you auto hit your blight healing effect. So it's so good. All right, let's get to the game here. And I have no adversary here. All right, so we have Sans as the starting explorer. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to want to stop this build, and then I'm going to want to defend my H2. And that's what we're going to plan to do. So Downpour, you either could G2 or G3 turn 1. There are benefits and negatives to both. By G2ing top, or not top, by choosing G2 first, that's going to give you slightly greater advantage. I think it net gains you 1 energy. The benefit of doing G3 turn 1 is it gives you more information because you're getting that power card first. So I'm going to do G2 because I'm greedy and I don't think it really matters. There we go. If I can click, and there we go there. And I'm going to discard 2 cards. I am going to actually discard Dark Skies and Gift of Abundance. Usually you're going to play Foundations or you're going to play Dark Skies on turn 1. I want to do Foundations here because I want to not only kill this town here, but I also want to kill the town here on my my H7, and that's why I'm playing it like this. But your decision to play Dark Skies or Foundations will be dependent on the adversary and your Explorer, and also if you want to crossboard. They do their builds, and the Explorer is jungle here. And this is where I have my 4 water, so I'm going to get... So first I'll do my Foundations once. I'm then going to gain an energy, and then I'm going to do my Foundations again. And the reason why I'm able to do that, I have 4 water, so I spend 2 water to get an energy, and then the other 2 water I use to repeat my card. Now I've cleared that land up, and as I said, I G2 turn 1, and I'm going to G3 turn 2. And we're going to get a miner here. So, of course. So, typically, Downpour is looking for water cards, or plant cards, or 0 cost cards, or defend cards. The 2 best cards in the miner deck for you are Mesmerize Tranquility, if I can find this. And I'm not a Downpour player, but this is just what I've been told. I've been told Mez is pretty much the best Downpour card for you. It's a... each invader does -1 damage, so you do this twice on the land, and it basically the whole land doesn't act really. It also has an isolate, so really easy to pocket. The second best card is Sap. Now some players disagree on this, but both Sap and Mez are just busted in half. Sap, think about it, is a 0 cost water card that if you have an air, which pretty much all of your cards have air, so you're pretty much always going to have the extra range So you just don't even need your presence to be there, and you just can defend 5 everywhere. So this card is just absurd on Downpour. Yeah, so Sap and Mesmerize Tranquility, those are your 2 best cards. Some other really good cards, any of the defense, like Carapace Land, Call to Guard is really strong too. Just very, very strong. Always Call to Trade, just the water cards. So yeah, so if I was playing this seriously, 100% I would grab Sap. But I don't really think I need it here, just because like there's no adversary, so I'm not really worried. So I'm going to go with Here There Be Monsters because this generates a lot of fear, and this allows me to close out the game. So as you can see here, I'll have Water Air with Unbearable Deluge. I'll have a water for my tracks, which means if I play another water card here, I'll have 3 water, which activates that Innate here. So now if I G3 turn 1, followed by a G2 turn 2, I would have 5 water here, so I could even possibly hit this tier. So, okay, so this is what we're going to do. Unbearable Deluge, it pushes Dahan, so I want to do it on H2 first, followed by H6. If I did it H6 first, and then H2, I'll push the Dahan out, and then I'm not getting a counterattack. So that's something to keep in mind. Lastly, I'm going to use this presence movement to move this presence over here into H5, such that I can use Here There Be Monsters there. I wonder if I'm supposed to actually put it in H4 instead. Let's just do it. We'll do it in H5. H4 gets me an extra fear. So Unbearable Deluge right there. I have 2 water, so I'm going to do it again. And we'll get the Dahan over here to H2. There we go, and that land is isolated. Coastal Towns Multiply, doesn't matter. Explorer's Blunder. And we can add a Dahan, I believe. Yep. Nice, so now I can actually remove that Explorer. And as you guys can see, just how powerful we are. Just absolutely incredible. Yeah, maybe I should have put the presence there to do monsters there, but that's all right. So let's see. So trying to see the fastest way to win this. I probably go here. I just need to get 4 fear to win the game, as well as killing that town. So I'm going to reclaim. I'm going to get a minor power. And actually, I will do it here. And we'll push the Explorer out. There we go. So we'll reclaim. We'll get a minor. I'm just going to grab any card here. And we can move a presence. And actually, we need to create a wetland. There we go. Perfect. So we want to do Dark Skies, and I also want to be doing Unbearable Deluge. So, and this is where, like I said, so now I reclaimed. So next turn, I'm going to G2, go top. I'm going to discard likely 2 of these cards. I'm going to play Abundance, because Abundance with the top plant means I'm healing a Blight, and then whatever card I'm playing, usually it's a defend, would be my follow-up. But by doing it like this, I actually just win the game here. As I have Unbearable Deluge there, so I have 1 fear, defend the land. I have Dark Skies, push this Explorer and this Dahan out. And then I'm going to repeat Dark Skies to do it here. Now, it requires a wetland, and remember, if I have a Sacred Site, I have a wetland. So I created a wetland here to allow me to push these Explorers out. And I've now pushed both of them like this. And I don't want to use the left Innate because that means it turns down my defense by 2, and I would rather kill that town. Yes, so luckily Foreign Diseases, I thought we were going to lose here, lose the Dahan and the game would go longer, but it would be my H2. And actually I just win. No, I still have to kill the remaining Explorers, so kill that town. But I don't get fear from it, which is extremely sad because I needed that fear to win. So this game will go on 1 more turn. Because what I would do here is if I didn't need that fear, I would just reclaim and I would play that card again. I'd play Deluge twice and I would win, but because of Relentless Optimism, that's just not going to work. So we're going to G2. So you guys are going to see me play a little bit longer here. I have to discard 2 cards. I'm going to go with Abundance and Drift Down. Now, you might be saying, wait, why are you doing that? Well, that's because I need Foundations to kill the town here. And then I need, I'm going to use monsters to generate a lot of fear. Sacred Sites under threats. Very funny. I don't even think I can pay for this, right? I guess I go just top guard, then or I go bottom, but I lose my presence. Oh, I get a miner. Doesn't really matter what I pick here. They'll build, and they explore mountain, and we will do my foundations here, and then I'm gonna just do monsters. And this is the power of many mines, or not many mines, of Downpour, is like I have this 0 cost fear card that I can just play 1, 2, 3. So I could play this card for 9 fear, and essentially I would just fear bomb the game. So yeah, just Downpour, very strong spirit. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. I'll have more level 6 gameplay of the spirit, and the spirit plays, I mean, pretty much that same pattern you saw, but there would be deeper choices, more pressure, all of that.